My name is Francis Fungsang. I'm an attorney and partner with Margaret Wong and Associates. I'm here with Margaret Wong today, our managing partner, and we're going to ask her a few questions. And in your open letter to Trump, President Trump, you said U.S. immigration law needs reform, and you listed several suggestions. Can you talk about a few of those suggestions?
Yes, we absolutely need to secure our borders because the whole world is changing. When I came in 1969, we came to school, but that's when America, we just went through the Second World War, the Industrial Revolution. So America needs people to work. So now the whole world has been changing. We don't like refugees anymore. We don't like, but it doesn't mean we have to follow what the world goes. So the few reform I do recommend we have is definitely we need to secure our borders, but it doesn't mean we close our borders. It doesn't mean we have a wall or fence. I mean, we always have problems with people coming back and forth. Number two is we need to make sure that the immigrants doesn't get on Medicaid, Medicare, or programs that they're not entitled to. That's fair because American people pay tax in it, and we pay tax into it, so why should people who doesn't pay tax get our benefits? On the other hand, they should be able to get work permits and stay in America and not be afraid. It's silly, like Martin Luther King said, you don't work from fear. You cannot just keep saying, I'm going to deport them tomorrow, deport them tomorrow, deport them tomorrow. How do we make them, and people like us, to be more mentally healthy, fiscally healthy, contribute to America, and keep making America first? I think that's the core. From any immigration reform, you have to think about core, and then you go up. It's like building a house on a foundation, and then you go up.
Okay. And what would you say to President Trump now, given his travel ban and suspension of the refugee program?
I think President Trump needs to talk to all the people who runs Homeland Security. Right now, 65% of the budget of Homeland Security came from immigration. And the interesting thing, and I don't even know if President Trump knows about this because he's a multimillionaire, is us poor immigrants, we are fee-based. What does fee-based mean? My fee, if I want my citizenship, I pay a fee to the government to print the paper, to vet me. Even if you're already a green card, you want to be a citizen, you are extremely vetted. CIA vet you, FBI vet you. Every time you go to a city, a country, on the N400, it's like 50-page forms. You're severely vetted, and this is fee-based. That means I pay the government to vet me to give me citizen. So I wish President Trump knows that, number one, we are fee generated. We don't use the government money. It's not like the tax department, they use the tax money to enforce and to collect more tax. Immigration use the fee paid by these Mexicans, by these Chinese, by these Indians to give them a green card, to give them a work permit, to vet them, to go through fingerprinting. It costs $85 to go through a fingerprinting process. So everything is money, and money talks in America.
And what are the top reasons why Central Americans are far less likely to get a green card versus other new immigrants?
America is divided into three parts. It's just like Europe. We have two contiguous countries. One is Canada, one is Mexico. So, but for Canadians, because they don't need a visa to come to America, so for the Canadians, you don't have things like perm bar, you don't have things like illegal entry, because they don't need a visa, it's visa exempt. But for Mexicans and all the southern Latino people come through Mexico to come to America, they have to cross. I teach in a law school, so I love geography, I love history. So the reason why most of them couldn't get a green card, because there was a time, that was 20 years ago, it's so easy just to come. They come for Christmas, they go back and do some work, they come back, and then the reverse. Also remember, in the 50s and 60s, a lot of these Mexican people, or wherever they're from, they're born in California, they're born in Texas, And in those days, the midwife gave birth to them, and they run back in, and they come back up. Nobody cared. So suddenly, in the past 20 years, Americans are not giving them work permits, social security numbers, no driver's license. So now suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, it's uproar. We are creating a lot of people who ultimately, there's a mental health issue. Because I'm in this field, I've been doing this practice for 40 years. I see them, I see 40 parties a day. And I see the effect they have on these people. And their children are born here, most of them are 20s, 30s now. And all these people pay tax. They used to run from field to field. So when I ask them, show me some papers so I can help you get a green card. I can get you amnesty, I can get you registry. And they're like, oh, but every time I move, I throw out all my papers. Because they don't even have a checking account. They go through the money grab. They send $30 back to Mexico, they pay like $3, $4, it's like 10%, just to get money grab back. I mean, it's awesome, but they pay tax because they have 1099 and W-2. They have to pay tax.
Well, thank you.
As President Trump said, it's really sad. Yes. Thank you.